The swim for Lake Placid in 2023 is again in beautiful Mirror Lake, a calm, pristine lake in the heart of Lake Placid, serving as one of the best Ironman swims in the world. No kidding. The water temperature typically in the high 60s, low 70s. It is 2 loops, and after the first loop, you have a chance to get a water break if you like before you jump back in the lake and do it again. And all buoys will be on your right. Wendy, this is a course that you've done. I've been there to cover it as a reporter, and it is a spectacular location to swim.
Yes, this is probably next to Ironman Coeur d'Alene. Ironman Lake Placid water is pristine and beautiful. And it definitely, for me, is the easiest course to stay on track because there's a rope underneath the water that you can see and swim over. So you definitely stay on course. And the first time I did this race was in 2002. And I'm pretty sure I wore a wetsuit. It was wetsuit legal. And then the next time I did this race was 2011, and I wore my swimsuit because the water was above 78 degrees. And so, temperatures are going to vary depending on the climate and how much snow they get that year and how much snow melt they're going to have in the lake. So I would definitely be prepared for a wetsuit and or non-wetsuit swim. I'd lean towards the side of having a wetsuit preparation, but it could be a non-wetsuit swim.
And this is a really straightforward with the buoys on your right. It couldn't be more easy to follow with this straight out, take a right, come back, and then come on shore briefly, and then make your way back into the water. Any strategies on how to approach a swim where you have to come out of the water and then go back into the water?
Well, going from horizontal to vertical can create some dizziness in some people depending on their blood pressure. And so you want to be careful of that. I've never done a race where I've had an aid station on the swim portion. So if you are out there long and you feel like you're going to need some hydration, or I don't know if they're going to have any gels or anything, make sure you practice with that. I know sometimes I've heard advice of people who need nutrition, calories on their swim course. They can hide their gel pack or whatever in their wetsuit or in their speed suit or some sort of kit that they can easily be able to pull that out while they're swimming. I know people who have done that. And also wanted to mention the years I've done this race, it's always been a mass swim start. Ironman has grown. And when I did this race in 2011, I was front and center and I looked back and I couldn't believe they were going to fit in that amount of athletes in this, what I consider smaller lake venue. And so now Ironman has gone to the rolling start. So it's safer. It's less congestion. It's easy for everyone now to get over that rope and follow the rope line. I think it's shallow enough that I think you can even probably pull on it. So definitely gives everyone the opportunity to do that. And just entering the water in a stress-free environment is always helpful. I don't recall that I was being able to warm up before my wave or the start. And so, make sure you have some open water swim experience before this race, because you're probably not going to be able to swim in the lake before race day.
Now, coming out of the water, I know we're going to talk about the bike course, but coming out of the water, the transition run is longer than usual. It's not your typical find your bike, get the people to take off your wetsuit, and you're good to go. This is a long run. So there's a couple of options. You can have someone take off your suit right then and there, and you can carry it over your shoulder, or you can run the entire length, leaving the swim area, running across the street back into the arena, and then go to transition. What's the pros and cons of each?
If there's wetsuit strippers, I always say take advantage of the wetsuit stripper. And it's a fun job. If you're not racing, it's a fun job to volunteer for. I've done that a couple times in Boulder. And so wetsuit strippers are usually one of the favorite of all volunteers. So once you get out of the water, there's going to be people, kind of holding their hand up just to let you know they're available. You just kind of, maybe take the wetsuit off your shoulders, lie on the ground, put your legs up, and they just tear it off your body. And then you run with it. That is definitely the best option, I think, for anyone. I don't know why you wouldn't take that option, because if you don't have a wetsuit stripper, then you're running. And as you're running, you're trying to, take the wetsuit off your shoulder. You're running with it down at your waist. And then you get to your transition area and you still have to pull it off your body. And there's a procedure I've included a video within the plan of demonstrating how to take a wetsuit off. And then it kind of probably creates a lot more time. Could take a couple minutes. I've struggled taking off wetsuits myself, so it could take a couple more minutes. If it's just a day, a pro to running in your wetsuit is if it's a day that's extremely cold, maybe you want to keep that wetsuit on until you get to transition because it's going to keep your body warm. If it's a day that obviously is extremely hot, you're going to want get that wetsuit. Maybe not even have that wetsuit. Might not even be an option, but you want to get that wetsuit off as quickly as possible and definitely take advantage of the wetsuit volunteers.